Mm. Oh, what's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope you guys are having a great thirsty Thursday evening. Day after tomorrow, we have playoff games Saturday, Sunday, and us on Monday night. Just got finished doing a live stream with my kids. We got the band back together. Cop Pizzle, Philly 500, and little old Rio Robinson, who's sitting home already on the couch. And I'm actually disappointed in Rio because he's hoping that we all lose and join him on the couch. You know, I hope that one of our teams goes to the Super Bowl. And I hope it's the Cowboys. I don't want to see the Giants and have to listen to Cop Pizzle. I don't want to listen to Philly 500. But seriously, you got to at least root for the division. The funny thing is I've got a video you definitely have to check out. I'm working on cutting it out of there because literally Philly 500, I was trying to get him to say, what are the quality wins that they had? They said Minnesota. Oh, we beat Minnesota. And the Cowboys, that's it. That's their two quality wins that they had. Yeah, Cowboys, the Cooper Rush. But they discount us beating, of course, Gardner Minshew. The funny thing about that is Gardner Minshew was a starting quarterback in Jacksonville and actually had game experience. Cooper Rush only had a few games under his belt. And we were told that the Eagles had the best offensive line in football, best wide receiving core, best running, that they had the best of everything and literally couldn't win. Okay, be that as it may. And it's raining out here, so I need to get this done before I get sick. At least it's not cold. And let me say, I'm not complaining about the rain. I've always talked about every time it rains here, I say I wish I could send some of that rain out west because you guys need it. I just wish that you could get it more stretched out. All of my friends that are out there in California with the rains and these waves that keep coming in, I hope they fill up the reservoirs, but I hope that you don't lose, your homes or have a lot of damage and things like that. It's crazy how we go from one extreme to the other. And it's weird because you'll remember, some of you that are older like me, there was a drought in like Georgia. It was really, really bad. The lakes were all drying up. Then it was like the droughts in Texas and so on. And it's like it's moved. And then it's the droughts that are in California. Then it went from the droughts being in Atlanta and Georgia and all that to floods. And the same thing, we saw the floods in Texas and things. And now we're getting the floods out west. I wish there were a way, maybe they need to figure out how to reduct this shit so that all this water that's just inundating and rolling out to the oceans, that they could just get a pipeline to go back to Lake Mead, because that sucker is about 183 feet away from being filled up. It has gained about a half a foot from the rains, and maybe they'll get more from this other stuff, and maybe it'll last a little longer. But my thoughts are with all of you guys, man, because I know it's a mess after going through the burns and the fires and all that stuff. Now going through the opposite with the floods, just can't catch a break. But in the end, we all need to come together for the common good. Now, interesting thing, talking about this, Cop Pizzle has the Giants and the Cowboys in the NFC Championship game. He literally said that. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see us in the NFC Championship game against anybody. I'd be happy for that. Be that as it may, if the Cowboys lose, we're hearing about the Cowboys would make a move on firing the coach. One interesting take is it's not Sean Payton, because Sean Payton, of course, is a vocal coach. He's a guy who likes to be in the limelight, and that Jerry Jones won't want to spend that time in the limelight, even though he looks back now and says he regrets not winning a Super Bowl with Tony Romo. He wished that he had done more to make that happen. One of those things would be getting out of the way and letting football people do football things. Be that as it may, the problem of Sean Payton, hypothetically, if the Cowboys did make a move, is his rights belong to the Saints, which means you're going to have to give up compensation. It's great to get a coach who's offensive minded, who can probably get the best out of Dak Prescott, definitely be a better play caller than, say, Cooper Rush. I'm sorry. God, I'm literally having a brain fart here. Jeez, but to be a better play caller and get the team doing better offensively. But you look at it and you say, he had Hall of Fame quarterback. He had some great defenses the last years. He wasn't winning the Super Bowls there either. And now you're talking about maybe potentially losing number 1 picks to get him. That one doesn't make a lot of sense. One that does, and maybe the reason why Dan Quinn was left was kind of the Jason Garrett rules. Hey, don't go nowhere. You are the coach in waiting. If Mike McCarthy slips, you're the guy that I'm going to bring in, which should make a lot of sense because you elevate him to the head coaching position. You elevate somebody else on your roster, that's already there to be the defensive coordinator, and basically he's going to be the defensive coordinator, which means you either keep Kellen Moore or you get somebody else to be your offensive coordinator, but then you can still kind of run things on the offense, which is really what Jerry Jones likes to do. He doesn't mess with Dan Quinn and the defense. He doesn't mess with them at all. He leaves them with full autonomy, and it seems like what Dan Quinn wants, Dan Quinn gets. And now you've got a guy who has built defenses in Seattle and with Dallas, who has head coaching experience that that went to a Super Bowl with Atlanta. To me, that makes more sense than starting all over with somebody else that you don't know. But I will say, be careful what you wish for. Because when the Raiders last year with Batista, I can't remember his name, with their coach, interim coach, who got them to 10-7 and went to the playoffs, Mark Davis decided, no, I'm going to go get Josh McDaniels, a guy who a lot of Cowboy fans said we should go get. They went from 10-7 to what? 7-10? Something like that? Out of the playoffs, beat down like a redheaded stepchild. Now you're looking at getting rid of your quarterback and starting all over. And sometimes we are quick to go ahead and say, let's make a change. And that change ends up being a mess. So looking at the Dallas Cowboys, who weren't expected to do anything, and let's be clear here, all the pundits, all the talking heads basically said the Cowboys are ass. They're not going to do shit. Well, we still have one of the best records in football. If we were in any other division, we would have won the division. It's a fact. But it is what it is. I guess even though we haven't won anything since the 90s, for some reason, we still are touted at being this, unattainable, God, it's raining a lot, unattainable, standard that has to be perfect, when the reality is we're crawling right now, learning how to walk, and people are expecting us to run. Does that make sense to you? Well, that's the reality of it. The Dallas Cowboys going into the season were one of the third youngest team in football. This team has a bright future. This team has some pieces that'll be able to do some things. And I am excited for them. I believe we get the victory on Monday night against Tampa Bay. And I believe if they do get that win will be able to propel this team to new heights. They've got to get past this psychological barrier that is Tom Brady. But once you break through to the other side, I believe the rest of it gets easy. So, it's raining and I'm getting wet. Let me say what I always say. Marie Presley died tonight. She's either 51 or 54, younger than me. Had money to be able to take care of herself, so I don't know what happened, the reason for her death. She passed away tonight. We've lost a lot of people on a daily basis. And this is where I honestly say, tell the people you love them, because you might not get the chance again. The world is crazy. and I love you guys. And me and Pizzle had some disagreements on things. He did things differently than I wanted to do things. He has his style, I have my style, and so on. And we kind of went through some things. And that happens between friends, just like between me and E2 Blue. We had some differences. We worked them out. We're good. Same thing happened with Cop Pizzle. That's what grown people do. You don't always agree. You're not always happy with each other, but you find ways to get common ground and get shit together. And because in the end, we all need each other. Yeah. So I guess that's my kumbaya. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Oh, Lord. Kumbaya. It's my kumbaya moment. Haven't sang that since Boy Scouts. All right, good people. I'm out here in slippers that are soaking wet. I love you guys. And God willing, I'll see you in the morning. Someone singing, my Lord, kumbaya. Someone singing, my Lord, kumbaya. Someone singing, my Lord, kumbaya. Oh, Lord, kumbaya. Good night, people.